I mentioned in Britain, 87 courts. Well, that couldn't happen here either, could it? Oh, yes, it could. Did you hear about the court in New Jersey last year?
Yep.
A Muslim woman goes to a state judge and says, my husband, happens also to be Muslim, is systematically raping and beating and torturing me. Could you give me a restraining order? You know what the judge said? I'm sorry, he's just practicing his rights under Sharia. Could that happen in America? It did. How about in Florida last week? Did you hear about this? There were two Muslim parties to a dispute over the ownership of a mosque. One group previously owned it, the other group currently owned it. The guys who currently owned it didn't want to give it up and wanted the court to adjudicate the matter under American law, the state laws of Florida. And you know what the judge said? He said, oh no, we're going to use ecclesiastical Islamic law to make this judgment. Well, that couldn't happen in America, could it? It is happening in America. What do you think about it? Do you want that to happen here in Pennsylvania? Well, there's a sign back here somewhere. Anybody still got it? There's an opportunity to do something about it. 3 states of the Union have so far adopted something called American Laws for American Courts. Sounds like a pretty straightforward idea, doesn't it? Well, there are people around this country who don't think so, like the American Civil Liberties Union. But we have an opportunity to tell them we want our Constitution to govern here. We want our laws to govern here. We don't want to be governed by Sharia. How about it? American laws for American courts. Okay? Now let me conclude with just one data point. Just yesterday, a colleague of mine who helped contribute to this book, did I mention the book? Sharia, the Threat to America? Yeah, on sale over here, right? Okay. Patrick Poole, terrific counterterrorism expert, broke a major story. Now I mentioned, right, that your government hasn't talked to you about this? Hasn't said anything about Sharia? Hasn't warned you that they're investing your money or allowing your courts to take it on? Why would that be, one wonders?
He's a Muslim.
Well, just yesterday, Patrick Poole in Pajamas Media, which is a terrific website, I commend it to all of you, broke the story that federal prosecutors down in Dallas, Texas, who successfully busted 5 guys who were running something called the Holy Land Foundation, a Sharia-adherent fundraising program for a group you may have heard of. It's called Hamas, a designated terrorist organization with American blood on its hands. They busted these guys, and they had a list of about 300 other folks and organizations that the U.S. prosecutor in Dallas thought were conspirators, but they listed them as unindicted because they were going to go get them after they got the first 5 guys. But they didn't reckon on a small problem. When they brought this case to court the first time in Dallas, they had in the jury pool a guy who happened to be pretty sympathetic to Hamas. And he wouldn't allow them to convict. So they had a mistrial. So they carried the thing over. In 2008, they did it over again. And in 2008, they got every single one of those 5 Hamas guys on 108 counts. Your justice system at work, thank God. But wait. The idea was, after they got those first 5, they were going to start rolling up the other guys, right? Well, the prosecutors hadn't reckoned on Team Obama, who came to office, as you may have noticed, in 2009. And what we just learned yesterday from two Justice Department officials who spoke on condition of anonymity is that when the Dallas prosecutor went to the U.S. government, to the Justice Department under Eric Holder and said, "Okay, boss, we're ready to prosecute the Council on American Islamic Relations and the Islamic Society of North America and the North American Islamic Trust and these other Muslim Brotherhood front organizations in America who are trying to bring Sharia here." And you know what Eric Holder's Justice Department said to those prosecutors? No! No, you can't prosecute them! One might ask, why not? The answer is they are their friends. They're working with the U.S. government. They're telling the U.S. government what to think, what to say, what to do, which includes not telling you about Sharia. In fact, get this. The guy who is the top intelligence officer in the United States government, you probably never heard of him, but he's the guy who's supposed to be in charge of all of our intelligence, helping defend us against, among other things, guys who are trying to bring Sharia to the world, like the Muslim Brotherhood. Well, he was in Congress a couple of weeks ago and testified before the Intelligence Committee about this Muslim Brotherhood business. Have you heard about these guys? They're going to take over in Egypt shortly, probably most of the Middle East.
Right.
They're hard at work. Canada, Europe, Latin America, and as I said here. But get this. When asked about the Muslim Brotherhood, the top U.S. intelligence officer, a guy by the name of Jim Clapper, said,
Oh, he's not an idiot.
well, you don't really need to worry about those guys. They are a, quote, largely secular group who have eschewed violence and are interested in good works. No problem. Does that make you a little nervous?
Yeah.
Does that make you actually a little crazy?
Yeah.
This is what passes for intelligence in our government, and is it any wonder that we're making concessions to the Muslim Brotherhood, that we're accommodating Sharia in our courts, in our most holy sites, in our financial system, and risking the Constitution of this country and everything we hold dear? Well, I'm here to say to you today, not on our watch.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say that? Not on our watch. Not on our watch. Not on our watch. We need your help. Because there are a lot of smart people. I said to you when I came here, I'm looking for your help. There are a lot of smart people in Washington. Think they've got a bead on you guys. They think they're actually representing you. They're speaking for you. They're voting for you. And you've been hearing a little bit about what they may or may not be doing that you don't like on the budget, on repealing health care. But here's what they absolutely are convinced of, is you don't care about this other threat to our Constitution. They think you are so single-minded, so narrow-minded, so easily manipulated that you would be actually induced to think only about this one threat to what you are going to bequeath to your children and your grandchildren in terms of an America that is free, that is secure, and that stands for the things we believe in and that are enshrined in that Constitution. And I want to know, are you going to let them get away with that?
No!
Oh, I can't hear you.
No!
They can't hear you.
No!
No, he's right. Thank you so much. Let's go do it.